Jeff Duncan, what in the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, baby. What is it doing, baby? They gotta.
Now, if you have not heard, there was an article that was put out by well-respected Saints reporter Jeff Duncan. Jeff Duncan wrote an article about Michael Thomas. Now, it seems like to me, Jeff Duncan always seems to be writing articles about Michael Thomas, but we'll talk about this article because it is the most relatable. Jeff Duncan writes an article about Michael Thomas, says Michael Thomas, I'm quoting this right now, Michael Thomas isn't the Michael Thomas of 2019, and the Saints might not need him to be. Look, we've all had conversations about Michael Thomas and where he's at. Like, we all know about the historical season, 149 receptions back in 2019. He won Offensive Player of the Year, the first time a wide receiver won that in almost 20 years. I think the last person before him was like Jerry Rice. It was crazy. But Michael Thomas had a historical year. And then all of a sudden, Michael Thomas has had his string of injuries, man, and it has sidelined him for 2.5 seasons. But now Michael Thomas is back. We're hearing all the positive reports. We're watching all the videos. We're discussing Michael Thomas, and he seems like the light is coming on once again, and he is ready to be that dominant wide receiver that he was before he was interrupted by injuries. But when you read this Jeff Duncan article, it doesn't speak the same energy. And I'm just wondering to myself, what the heck is going on? Now, I'm reading this once again. Quote, a former NFL receivers coach watched intently from the sidelines as the Saints offense worked out against the Los Angeles Chargers defense during the team's joint practice on Thursday. His first question to a pair of sideline observers was, are you all from New Orleans? What's up with Michael Thomas? He can't get off the line of scrimmage. He's getting locked up by a safety. Now, we all seen a video of Michael Thomas going up against Derwin James, and from what I heard, last time that I checked, Michael Thomas won 3 out of the 4 matchups that he had with Derwin James. And now it's like it didn't happen. But apparently Jeff Duncan feels like what's going on with Michael Thomas is just basically they're just trying to hype him up, right? He said social media hype videos aside, he doesn't look like the same guy, right? He's getting jammed off the line of scrimmage. He's bringing up this guy's low lights, which I don't understand because a wide receiver job is to catch the football. A cornerback's job, especially a really good cornerback, is going to be able to neutralize you. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but when it comes to safeties, Derwin James is one of the best. Now, he's dealt with his fair share of injuries, but when he's on the field, Derwin James is one of the best safeties in the game.
Oh, my God.
So if Derwin James goes up against Michael Thomas or goes up against a receiver, I expect for him to at least be able to do something, right? To be able to neutralize. You have other cornerbacks out here. Like, that's the reason why we love Marshawn Lattimore. His ability to be able to neutralize the best receivers on the field. But bringing up this dude low lights, to me, it just sounds like something that a person that is extremely petty would do. And I'm going to be honest with you. We all know when it comes to some of the low points of Michael Thomas's career, questioning his ability to be able to get along with teammates, being able to get along with people within a facility, talking about his attitude, talking about all these different things. It just seems like Jeff Duncan is ready to be able to write a hit piece on Michael Thomas.
I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and nobody else but you.
Now, I don't understand why Jeff Duncan has an axe to grind with Michael Thomas. Now, maybe, just maybe, it's because last year when Michael Thomas came back and he had his first interview or his first press conference at training camp, he called out Jeff Duncan.
Mike, can you explain, like, this is the first time we talked to you in like 2 years. I mean,
yeah, you be always saying stuff.
What happened?
You always be writing BS. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what happened that caused this to be a 2-year?
You gotta ask the trainers and doctors about that.
Do you have Any regrets about how it was handled?
Nah, no regrets. Watch me play now.
And of course, the clip went viral because he did. Because the Who Dat Nation, they called him out on it, right? They looked at the video, they saw it, and they were like, man, you know, Jeff Duncan really seems like he has an axe to grind with Michael Thomas. And I don't feel like that's out of the realm of possibility, because it seems like whenever there's some bad news about Michael Thomas, it always seems the author always reads Jeff Duncan. So I don't understand. But it sounds like to me, and I'm sorry, with all due respect, it sounds like Jeff Duncan is a hater. It seems like he has an issue with Michael Thomas, but my thing is, don't try to minimize what this dude can possibly bring to the table because you have an axe to grind with him. Now, if you read the interview, there's some positive things that he wrote inside of the article, but the way the article was set up on Twitter, and it just seems like every time something goes wrong and there's an article written about Michael Thomas's shortcomings, it always comes from Jeff Duncan. And when you're hearing respected reporters like Nick Underhill and Ross Jackson, my guy Jeff Nowak, when you start hearing these guys talk about Michael Thomas and what they actually see, and they see the dominance and they're reporting this, it's kind of hard for me to just sit up here and just believe a Jeff Duncan article about Michael Thomas if everybody else is saying to me that they're still seeing a dominant Michael Thomas. I don't know what the issue is, but it really seems to me that Jeff Duncan has an issue with Michael Thomas. But we all know Michael Thomas is a special wide receiver. The thing about Michael Thomas, it has never been about his speed. He's never going to have the speed of Tyreek Hill. He's never going to be able to jump out of the gym like a DK Metcalf or Randy Moss back in the day, late 98. But the things that he does best is be able to win those 50-50 matchups. The pass that he caught in preseason, week 1, was a classic Michael Thomas catch, a dirty, grimy type catch, right? Let the best man win type catch. So I don't understand this angle, but I am, honestly, I'm wondering, and I'm very, very concerned about Jeff Duncan and these articles that he's writing about Michael Thomas throughout the years. I'm just wondering, what did this dude do? Like, did he not want to give you an interview? Did he not want to sit down with you? Or maybe it's just the fact that he called you out in front of everybody. I do not know, but I do know this. Michael Thomas is poised to have a really good season. I will agree with one thing Jeff Duncan says. He doesn't have to be the wide receiver that he once was. He doesn't have to, because he has help. And that has been an issue with the wide receiver room since he's gotten here. For the exception of the year that he was with Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas has been the is-all and the be-all of the New Orleans Saints wide receiver room because he had to. He no longer has to be that guy. He has help. He has really good, talented wide receivers to be able to co-star in this feature called the New Orleans Saints season. So all I'm saying is, Jeff, what the problem is, man, and what the hell is going on? If you don't think that Michael Thomas is still as good as he always been, all I got to say to you is,
are you crazy? Are you crazy?
But I would love to hear from you. What do y'all think about Jeff Duncan? What's your opinion about Jeff Duncan? What is your overall opinion about the article that he wrote? I encourage you to check it out, see for yourself, see what he talked about. Comment down below, like and share this video. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?